Okay guys, welcome back. It's been a few days since the last video that we did, mainly because the war that we had against Turkish elite was a bit of a non-starter from them. They didn't attack, and the clan castles that they had, I think, only had about 5 troops in each. So I'm not sure what they were playing out there, but we didn't feel it was worth showing. That was a bit of a pasting, really. So. It's been a while, so we're gonna look at the war against Ebrecat, which we, as you can see, we narrowly won. So good job there. Okay. We're gonna have a look at Lee's raid first. So Lee's currently at Town Hall 8, attacking another Town Hall 8, but he's currently upgrading his Town Hall to Town Hall 9, so we'll shortly have a few more troops to play with. It's a little bit late on dropping the Packers, that's why they went sideways instead of forward, because there's nothing there for him to attack, but as you'll see, it works out well anyway. So these whizzes are going to get rid of most of this core. And it's just a matter of the packers going around and just clearing up. Okay. Okay, Walter's clearing up red. Decided to use a lightning rather than the poison spell, which got rid of the clan castle troops. Bit of haste action going on. These fairly low level walls aren't really putting up much of a barrier to these troops, especially the packers. So they're just cutting through it like a knife through butter. Very good. It clears red. So it's opened up all the bottom part of this base. So basically we've got access now right to that centre compartment. So we've got the Queen in the same compartment as all these high-level tanking troops. And there's even a Pecker still in there, I think. So basically the Queen's going to stand behind these troops and just start taking the base apart. Great. Okay, we're going to look at, I think this was George. Again, I'm doing this on the BlueStacks thing, so it doesn't recognise the fonts that George has used there. So I think it's George. You just notice here the jump spell doesn't appear as though it's actually reached this compartment, or indeed this compartment. You know, ideally they want to be a bit further in. However, you probably noticed yourself that the jump spell can be a very forgiving spell, and it does seem to operate a little bit further than you think, as you'll shortly see. So it doesn't look like it's reaching that wall, but they've leapt over quite easily. So again, we've managed to get the golems into the core, so all these other troops are pretty much free to dish out the damage on the town hall. And again, all the defensive buildings are attacking these golems, and again the Queen is going around unbothered. So this whiz tower is going to go down, and both of these arch towers are going to be firing on this golem here. Actually, there's two golems there, so no chance. So the Queen is just going to merrily make her way up behind. Just going to have a look at a couple of raids on those square bases. I'm going to look at one by Alex and one by Eddie. The first one we're going to look at, just something I want to just sort of point out. So the jumps go down. There's plenty of time with these jumps. There's 60 seconds on a maxed out jump spell. So you see, we've got now basically all the golems are going in pretty much at the same time. They're hitting the base at the same time. Now, the way this base is laid out is you've got a ring of defensive buildings all the way around. Okay, so basically the idea is that, you know, your troops get in here, they're going to, the defensive targeting troops like your golems are going to basically go from one building to the next, to the next, to the next, and just go around the perimeter whilst being picked off by these X-balls, and if they're close enough, by the Infernos. So the idea really is to break that ring. So what you can actually get here is, with dropping all these golems at the same time, you don't really get that effect, and you'll see what happens is the golems, I can't remember if it's left or the right, but once these golems get into the base, they go one way or the other. Now ideally what should happen is you drop the side golems first, a few seconds before this center pack comes in. Obviously you need to note as well that there's no defensive buildings in this compartment here, so these guys are going to go straight in and start working on these buildings here. So it's always better, if you can, to drop the side golems a few seconds earlier, so they can get into the base and start working on these corner defensive buildings first, and that way you're breaking that ring. So once those buildings are gone, or if they go slightly before these buildings, then once these golems are on these buildings, they're not going to be tempted to wander left or right. The nearest defensive building is going to be here. So that's what I'd be doing anyway, and you'll see what happens in this raid by Alex with those golems. I mean, as it happens, it works out fine, and the queen gets to this point regardless, and does the business. But you'll see these golems are now going to here. Now the way is actually quite fortunate, because I don't know if you can quite see there. There's an air blower there, which kind of destroys this ring idea. So basically, what's going to happen? There's no other defensive buildings there. This air blower is defensive building, so these golems are going to come here, destroy that, and then the next nearest building is going to be this Tesla. So they'll then come back, use the jump, and get in there. So Alex was a bit fortunate to get his golems back in there. Okay, so the rest is just a few extra percentage points, but so just remember the side attacks first. So that's Alex's attack. We're going to jump forward. We are going to look at the raid that Eddie did on the second base, but first we'll just have a look at the raid he did on the first base, and you'll just see the difference, because this to me was perfect. The way that this dropped, the base is effectively the same as the last one. Just this center core is a little bit different. So you see we've got the 3 jumps going in, but he's sending in the side troops first. See, now the golems are coming in, and also note that there's a defensive building in there which is going to delay this center pack anyway. So see, we're breaking down this chain here. Once this is going to go down, this mortar, you'll see these golems turn and come this way. So now we've got the golems in the center as was desired. Now, to me, that was much more controlled. Okay, look at Eddie's other raid. Bit of a mishmash of walls going on in this base, but maxed out, or nearly maxed out, defensive buildings. See, this cannon was just slightly closer than that that arch tower from this other cannon, so the golems have come this way. So we've got a rage just in front of the town hall compartment, which the Queen is taking benefit of. Another rage in the core. So we're over the 50% 2 stars, and the Queen's still got full health. Very good. Okay, that's the last one of our raids we'll have a look at. Let's have a look at a couple of those. Look at the raid on ME. I'm not sure whether ME knows he's got a spawn point there. Whether that's put one of these trap bases or not, but he does. But just speed that up while that poison takes effect. So a fairly open layout base. So this guy's taking some witches. It's kind of strange the way that the guy does this raid, because he knows full well that there's a spawn point in there, but yet he takes a jump spell to get into that core. Now, if he wants to get these packers into this core, there'd be nothing finer than just to drop those packers in the middle once some of the troops are in this area. But nevertheless, he manages to get some of his troops in there, and with the rage, that centre core is going to go down fairly quick. So the Queen's kind of trapped in there for the minute, but from there she can hit these buildings to the outside. Meanwhile, we've got witches still at the rear, sending in the skeletons. So all in all, a pretty solid raid, that. Get the attack on JH. I always think when you've got these lower level walls, if you put one of these bases together with tight compartments, it does make it fairly easy for the attacking troops to kind of navigate the base. Certainly you can get into the base fairly easily with jump spells to sort of navigate to the town hall, and the small compartments don't let your troops wander And obviously once the main business of the town hall and the 2 stars is done, these troops can fairly quickly get through these walls. So I think if you've got low-level walls, you perhaps want to consider a sort of layout with more open compartments, which will kind of guide troops away from where they want to go. So maybe something to consider. Okay, we're going to have a look at the attack on Walter. Tough base to 2-star this. Coming from the backside, so we can get the extra percentage to try and get the 2-star. He's opened up pretty much all this front side of or the back side, depending on which way you're looking at it, of the base with those jumps. But it's pretty much Queen to the rescue here. Everything else has deserted her. But that's a pretty good raid on that base, that. Okay, the last one we're going to have a look at is the attack on Punit. Areas with fairly large compartments. So again, this guy's taking witches. He's actually got 2 in the clan castle as well. So 9 witches in total. Ebrecat is going to come into this point, and then from there, there's nowhere really else for them to go apart from to this point. The breakers, that is. So they're going to open up that second section. Now with those jumps, you've basically got access to all that area. Pretty obvious that the Teslas are going to be in this position. So to be fair, there wasn't really that much defensive power at the top. You know, by the time the Queen and the King come into play, it's kind of too late. Anyway, that's gonna wrap up the replays for this war. Like I say, we won that one by 1, so great effort, and we shall see you on the next one.